It is 6 in the morning, and the world has not yet decided to wake up. Kathleen McLauren, however, has no choice. The sound of the alarm slices through the darkness like a knife. Before silence can settle back in, she is already in motion. She reaches for the clothes she laid out the night before, grabs a quick bite, something whose taste she won't even remember, and steps out into a cold, indifferent morning that already demands every ounce of her energy. For 5.5 years, this wasn't just an occasional hiccup. It was her life. Every morning at 6:30, she would slide into the driver's seat and head for the city, 75 miles away. 75 miles of highway traffic, merging lanes, and brake lights. That peculiar kind of exhaustion born not of hard work, but simply of trying to get somewhere. Her coffee in the cup holder would always go cold before she could finish it. Stuck on the highway at the same time every morning, surrounded by the same defeated faces and the same patient cars, she knew every pothole, every overpass, and every exit ramp by heart. This wasn't merely a commute, it was a sentence served behind a windshield. Kathleen was a talented magazine editor, yet on that highway, her professional identity would completely dissolve. When she married Jack and moved to his home in the countryside, the equation changed, but the commuting routine remained the same. Her office was still in that distant city. She would leave home at 6:30 in the morning and return at 7:30 in the evening. This aspect of her life was devastating. The hours spent away from home each day, the wasted hours spent on the road. Then she had a baby. The alarm still rang at 6 a.m. and the car would set off. Yet there was now a crib in the house, a child who woke up after she left and fell asleep before she returned. The weight of this reality added yet another burden to the load she already carried. Every evening, she returned home stressed, exhausted, and depressed. Something had to change. Eventually, she decided to quit. Not to abandon her career, but because the lifestyle she was leading had become unbearable. However, her boss did something unexpected and asked her to stay. He proposed a different kind of arrangement. Rather than requiring her physical presence in the office building, he told her she could work from home, needing to come into the city only once a week to hand in work and attend mandatory meetings. In 2014, this was not a standard corporate policy. There was no HR rule or established precedent for it. It was simply a testament to a manager's trust in an employee, and in doing so, it quietly shifted the understanding of how work could be done. As Kathleen left the city for the last time as a daily commuter, she was becoming a pioneer of a transformation that would eventually impact millions. Kathleen did not remain alone in this for long. Today, more than 5 million people in the United States split their work between home and the office. Researchers believe this figure has not yet peaked. Projections indicate that 41% of the American workforce will be working remotely in the near future. Professional life is no longer confined to steel towers. It now comes to life at kitchen tables and in spare rooms across the country. The equipment required for this transition was surprisingly modest: a phone, an answering machine, a computer, a printer, and a modem. The massive, costly office setup had shrunk enough to fit into the corner of a room. Long commutes were replaced by a mere 12 steps from the bedroom to the desk. The entire infrastructure of a professional career could now fit onto a single tabletop. Employees embraced this shift for personal reasons. Flexible hours meant they could start work when their minds were sharpest. They could take genuine breaks and spend quality time with their children and partners. Kathleen, who had lived as if holding her breath for 5.5 years, could finally breathe easy. She worked in comfortable clothing, far removed from office noise and unproductive meetings. The results surprised researchers. A comprehensive study conducted in California revealed that remote workers were, on average, 20% more productive than their office-based counterparts. In the knowledge economy, this is no negligible difference. Rather, it represents a fundamental competitive advantage. It turned out that offices prioritized presence rather than productivity, yet the two are not the same. The reasons for this boost in productivity were simple: fewer interruptions and an absence of unplanned meetings. There was only the worker and the quiet of an environment designed for focus. Yet, alongside this data, there was another factor at play. Many remote workers were putting in 10 hours a day instead of 8. The reason for this was the disappearance of the natural mechanism that serves to bring the day to a close. That process of relaxation and transition experienced during the commute was gone. There was no longer a physical act of separation to signal to the nervous system that the workday had ended. A laptop sitting on the kitchen table after dinner would draw a person in to send just one more email, and 5 minutes could easily turn into 30. Boundaries blurred to the point where they became impossible to locate. Home, once a sanctuary, transformed into a complex space. That table, where personal bills used to be paid, became the epicenter of work deadlines. Stress no longer stayed at the office because there was no office where one could leave it behind. Stress seeped into the dinner table, the bedroom, and every corner meant for rest and recovery. Kathleen was candid about this tension. While happy to be free from the hassle of commuting, she admitted to feeling disconnected from her colleagues. This situation highlighted the crux of the shift: productivity devoid of connection, freedom stripped of a sense of belonging. Humans are social beings. We evolved in groups and brought everything worth building into existence through collective energy. The office, for all its inefficiencies, was a vessel for that energy. When that vessel disappears, some of that energy simply vanishes. Those working from home frequently report a sense of structural isolation, noting that they spend their hours with machines rather than people. Screens and devices respond to commands, yet they offer neither warmth nor intuition nor spontaneous humor. This social cost has even influenced our behavioral patterns. Researchers found that people have become less polite in digital communication. Messages that would never be spoken face-to-face are sent without hesitation. The absence of physical presence makes it easy to forget that there is a real person on the other side of the screen. This represents a lack of feedback. Face-to-face communication is incredibly rich. A tensing of the jaw or a fleeting look of surprise signals how you should adjust your words. All of this is lost in email exchanges or phone calls. What remains is a shallower, more sterile version of human interaction, one that is more prone to misunderstanding and less capable of building trust. Not everyone is suited to this way of working. Remote work requires intense self-discipline and a home environment conducive to focus. It also requires family members who understand that being at home does not mean being available at all times. These conditions are not universal. Families feel this pressure acutely. Children may struggle to understand why a parent in the next room should not be disturbed. Boundaries that are clearly defined in an office setting become invisible at home and open to negotiation. Employers, too, face their own unique challenges, primarily the perception of a loss of control. In a traditional office, management is visible. You can sense the atmosphere. However, when a team is scattered across hundreds of different homes, that dynamic disappears. In the absence of visibility, many managers become doubtful, questioning whether the work is actually getting done or if they chose the right person for the job. The biggest hurdle is trust. This necessitates a fundamental reassessment of professional trust. Managing this process is extremely difficult for many institutions built on a culture of physical presence that has persisted for decades. There is also the loss of body language. A significant portion of meaning in a conversation is conveyed through nonverbal signals, such as posture, eye contact, and facial expressions. None of these survive in phone calls, which reduce communication to a two-dimensional exchange. Conference calls are not the same as being in the same room. Yet, despite all these downsides, the financial data is hard to ignore. Remote work saves money. Smaller offices cost less, and happier employees, freed from the burden of commuting, are more productive. The talent pool expands, and valuable employees who might otherwise quit due to long commutes are retained. However, every advantage comes with a hidden, accumulating cost. Now, let us broaden our perspective and focus on the city. When people are no longer compelled to live near their offices, the city loses its fundamental reason for existence. People move to the suburbs or rural areas in search of more space, cleaner air, and a lower cost of living. The geographic anchor provided by the office is gone. Those who leave the city are typically employed, tax-paying individuals. When they shift their tax contributions to another municipality, the city's budget shrinks. What remains is the population unable to relocate. In other words, those who do not receive adequate services and those who must be physically present due to the nature of their work. As revenue declines, services deteriorate. Roads crack and infrastructure ages without renewal. This situation signifies the collapse of cities and the loss of social cohesion within society. Good decisions made at an individual level, like Kathleen's, can lead to challenging societal consequences for the urban environments we have built. For some, such as people with disabilities or working parents, this represents true liberation. They achieve great success thanks to this new order. They realize too late that those once valued water cooler conversations were actually the connective tissue of their professional lives. Kathleen McLauren was a pioneer who escaped the grueling commute that was ruining her life, reclaiming both her health and her time. Yet, she also confronted a reality of loneliness and blurred boundaries. Her story proves that the geography of work is not neutral. Where we work shapes who we are and the communities we support. The office is now an option, and commuting is a matter of choice. Kathleen was both happy and lonely, a complex human reality. We are in the midst of a transformation as significant as the Industrial Revolution, and it will take decades to fully grasp the balance between what we have gained and what we have lost.